Hello and welcome to Interlagos for round number 11 of the iRacing Israel League Season 3 in the Porsche Cup cars. My name is Dane Baird, Samuli Kumo is up in the production booth, and Adam Barth will be joining me shortly, but he is having some PC issues, so he's not here at the moment. I'm all on my own as we have got underway for qualifying. Most of the drivers have already finished qualifying. Very short qualifying session, 10 minutes. Or the driver's two first laps are the laps that will count, and it is currently none other than championship leader Shalva Kotelshvili in pole position at the moment after 7 of the 10 minutes. Michael Scherling is currently in second, with John Chico currently sitting in third, and the rest of the drivers you can see on the left hand side of the screen. We've got a 29 car grid, I believe, today, which is quite a large one, especially here at Interlagos. In towards turns 1, 2 and 3 is going to be very interesting for the first time, I am sure. Alon Dave rejoins us once again, reigning champion. He's going to be starting from the back of the grid as always. He is not going to be taking part in qualifying. You can see he's not on the timing tower. And Meshlam goes up into 6th fastest. We are currently experiencing some small issues with the timing tower, so we don't have as much information to be able to show you. So I'm going to have to be telling everyone what the gaps are and so on and so forth. Shalva's pole position lap time so far with 2 minutes left of qualifying is a 1:35.43. Michael Scherling is 2 tenths behind, and then John Chico is 4 tenths behind the pole position man. Only a couple drivers still out on track as we head into the last couple of minutes of qualifying. You can see Chachvili, one of those drivers who is still on the circuit. He's the only one on the circuit, actually, I've just been told. So he's just making use of this rest of the qualifying session to try and get a little bit extra practice in before the race starts. We've got a 20-lap race, or 35 minutes, whichever comes first, and there is a mandatory pit stop, and that is based on fuel. However, there is no fuel restriction on the cars, only the starting fuel is restricted, so you could pit on lap number 1 and still make it to the end of the race. There is no pit window as such, unless you run out of fuel. So that is going to be quite interesting, as Adam is joining us very shortly. It seems that some of the issues are sorting themselves out. But we've got 40 seconds left in qualifying, and it looks like that is going to be our grid. It doesn't look like anyone else is able to get back out on track. And with only 30 seconds left, we're going to get the grid up in just a few moments' time. Reuven heads into the pit lane, probably practicing the pit entry. You can hear the pit alarm, the pit entry alarm sounding in the background as he enters the pit lane. And with 10 seconds to go, we will get the grid up and see how they're going to line up for round 11. Here at Interlagos, one of the very interesting circuits on the calendar, fairly wide throughout. You can do side-by-side racing throughout most of the circuit, and it should be a good race as always here on the iRacing Israel League. We have got the drivers gridding up on the grid before turn number 1. We've got the grid up on the screen then. Shalva Kotelshvili on pole position, a 1:35.43. 2-3 tenths back is Michael Scherling. He'll start alongside in the front row. Then we've got John Chico and Reuven Chachvili in row 2, Hagai Faran and Amin Meshalam in the third row. Then Dekel Na, Oren Sade and Yossi Gabai in rounding out the top 10. Then we have Rom Itek and Aiden Scher on row 6. On row 7, Yehuda Ben Yosef and Madi Bakar, followed by Nirkop Mezrahi and Ilad Weinraub in 16th. Then we've got Really Sir, Ido Isaac, Toma Ventura and Gil Epstein rounding out the top 20. Alon Zeltzer lined up alongside Leon Portman for row 11. Then at the back, the last of the drivers to have made a qualifying attempt, Dormalka and Moshi Pinchevsky. Then reigning champion of the series, Season 2 champion in the GT4s, Alon Day, lines up just ahead of Reem Gross. Very surprising that he hasn't made an appearance in qualifying. We're usually used to seeing him quite far up through the field. And then at the back, Ron Cohen, Yaroslav Malkov, and Gilad Heskia, rounding out the 29 car field that we have today. 20 seconds left for everyone to get onto the grid, and then we will get underway for 35 minutes or 20 laps of racing, whichever comes first. Do let us know in the live chat on whichever platform that you are watching us on. Who do you think is going to win this race? Will it be championship leader Salva Kadelshvili, or will it be multiple race winner Michael Scherling from the front row? Let us know in the YouTube chat. But we've got 5 red lights, and we go green for round number 11. I'm having a few camera issues actually, and I think it is Salva who leads into turn 1 round the outside of Scherling as they all file their way through turn 1. Little bit of an incident in the background. Is that Dormalka? A lot of drivers getting caught up in that one, but it is still Salva who leads. Now let's see if I can sort out these camera issues that I am having, because at the moment I cannot see any of the action. Oh, Chachashvili's just got past Hagai Ferran. And Ferran, they're actually going side by side. Salva still leading with Michael Scherling just behind. And through the middle sector they go then. Still no cameras for me, I'm afraid, so I am leading this blind, but the top 2 seem to have built up a good gap, 2.5 seconds between Salva and Hagai Ferran in first and third respectively. The top 2 breaking away. We saw Salva really doing well here last time we came to Interlagos in the GT4s, and he is repeating that here today. Alon Day up into 20th. He's gained a couple of positions there as they make their way through down towards turn number 1 again, through turn 2 now, the Senna S, and back onto the back straight to start lap 2 of 20. Let's see, that's a pretty big gap between Salva and Hagai Ferran at the moment. And do we have, I don't know, we don't just yet, but it's a pretty big lead for Salva and Michael Scherling up at the top. Salva still leading. Let's have a look a little bit further down the field. We've got a few battles going on. Most notably, we've got Dekel Nar in 6th. He's got a bit of a train forming behind him. And in the distance, Ivan Scher and Rom Itak as well, having a look. Just behind, around about 2/10 was the gap, but he's managed to extend that just a bit now. But Dekel Nar trying to catch onto the back of, that is Meshalam just ahead of him. But he's got Yossi Gabai close behind. There's a little bit of a train up ahead. 3 cars there. That is Meshalam, Chico, and Chachashvili. But Dekel Nar trying to hold off from Yossi Gabai and trying to catch up to that little train ahead of him. They're going very close together a little bit further back. That's Alon Day. He's made up a heap of positions. That's 11 positions gained for him as he moves up into 14th, and he is now right on the back of this train of a few cars running on board down the inside. He's going to go of Yehuda Ben Yosef. Good move down and towards turn number 4. Let's see. Is he going to be close enough to maybe make a move into the next corner? The cars ahead of Adam Scher and Rom Itak are going side by side into the right hand. The double apex. Very tricky corner to get right. Even more tricky to go side by side through there. They do pretty well to avoid any contact. Alon Day just biding his time. Now he's going to send one down the inside of the 95. Just not worked out for him. Does have a bit of damage to the front of that car as well. So we will see. We might have seen what happened behind. Oh, look at that. Very big move from Yehuda Ben Yosef. And it doesn't work out for him. Race control, car number 26, Yaroslav Malkov. A stop and go for avoidable contact on lap number 2. I didn't see any contact there, but looks like he might have gained a few positions by making some contact there. And that is race director Lee Thompson, who is doing the live stewarding. So thanks to him for keeping the drivers in check. Are they still on the back of the 2 cars ahead as they come to start lap number 4? And it looks like Scherling. Has Scherling got past Shalva, or is that my live timing having a little bit of issues? We'll see. Scherling does lead. Oh, Alon Day. Flash of the headlights. Get out of the way, you're saying to Gil Epstein in the 44 car. Down the inside he goes. Yehuda Ben Yosef, big lock-up. All 4 tyres locked up in the background there. And it is a wonder that he managed to keep that out of the back of Ida Scher there. That was a very, very close indeed. But it is Alon Day up into 12th pin. That is 13 positions gained from where he started. 2-time NASCAR Willen Series champion, of course. And he is proving his worth back on track once again. Doing ever so well last time out at Sebring and also at Okayama before that. And he's looking to gain more positions now. He's got Rom Itak up ahead in the number 95 car. And then he's going to try and catch up onto the back of him there. There is Rom Itak in the 95 car. Beautiful looking livery on that car. As they're very close together. That was Yossi Gabai, I think. And potentially Sardekel. Oh, there is Sardekel. He's had a bit of a lock-up there. Was there any contact? Have to wait and see. As it looks like my cameras are back working again. So I am now seeing what everyone else is seeing, which is good. But yeah, Sardekel really deep in towards turn number 1 there. And that is Alon Day trying to go around the outside of turn number 4. That is one of the most difficult places to make an overtake work because the driver on the inside has the preferred line through the rest of the corner. He's managed to hold it. Now he has the inside line into the double apex right-hander. He is ahead and he keeps ahead in towards turn 5 there. Brilliant move. And he's now got the once stricken car of Sardekel just ahead. And that would end up him up in towards the top 10 as well. Really would love to see how Scherling got ahead of Shalva, because Shalva looked like he might just be pulling away when we left. But this is Gilad Heskia. Replay is coming up. And this is how he did it. So Scherling up into the lead of the race, then Gilad Heskia in 16th. He's got Yehuda Ben Yosef after his huge lockup. His tyres are going to be absolutely ruined. And is that him heading into the pit lane? No, it's not. Just using that inside line to try and gain a bit of an advantage there. Looks like Gilad Heskia. Oh, very deep. He's on the grass. Is he? Just about hangs onto the car. But now, Tomo Ventura. Oh, Tomo. Oh, big contact. That is Ben Josef upside down. Looks like he just lost the car in the middle of turn 3. Got up on the grass on the curb on the inside and then flung back across the track. Unfortunately for Toma Ventura, right into his path. You can see that car crabbing. Oh, he's lost control into the wall, onto the grass. Luckily for him, there's no one directly behind. The next car behind him is Reem Gross. Down in 20th, he resets back to the pit lane. And that is a very unfortunate incident there. Ben Josef just losing it all on his own through turn number 3. This is the battle for 9th, 10th and 11th. Sardekel in 9th, Alonde in 10th, and Rom Itak in 11th. And they are heading down the main straight. Be interesting to see when drivers head down to do their pit stops. I believe only the drivers that have pitted for repairs are the drivers who have pitted at the moment. But Alonde seemingly unable to catch up to Sardekel. Sardekel very quick in his own right. But Alonde, we've seen how quick he can be. Very consistently fighting at the top of the field at the start of this season and throughout last season in the Porsche GT4s. But unfortunately he couldn't carry on with most of this season because he had real-world racing commitments in the NASCAR Euro Wheeling Series, which he has done very well in. And I believe he is leading the championship standings at the moment in that series after a win at Zolder, which is great to hear. Great to see drivers performing very well, but he is really trying to have a look at every possible overtaking zone on Sardekel. We're riding on board with Sardekel in the number 12 car. Looking back down into the Monster Energy liveried car of Alonde. Now, let's see, can he use the draft to try and make a move in towards turn number 1? He pulls out of it slightly, a little bit on the grass is Sardekel. Now they're going to head to the inside, almost touching the barrier on the inside. Sardekel defending, Alonde down to the inside, in towards turn number 1. And that is a good move from him. Is he going to get it slowed down in time? He is. And Alonde is up into 9th position then. Our reigning champion up into some pretty decent points. Meanwhile, Michael Schurling, he has managed to pull out a pretty large gap on Shalva Vitelshvili. And I believe Michael Schurling took his first win here last season in the GT4s. I could very much be mistaken, but I seem to remember him being very, very happy with his results here last season in the interview room. Definitely a track that he enjoys. And he is doing exceptionally well here. You can see just in the background, Shalva not very close to the driver for the number 200 car. We're not used to seeing this. Shalva's usually very, very close to the top of the field, if not leading. But at the moment, he is settling for 2nd position. When are these drivers going to make their pit stops though? Who's going to take the risk first as we approach halfway distance in this race? And I believe we might have just got a message from race control, although I didn't quite catch it. It was hidden beneath the pit timer on the bottom of the screen, and it was a stop and go for Gerhard Heskia for avoidable contact on lap 5. So Heskia's been a naughty boy, and he is currently sat down in 22nd. There he is. I don't recall seeing any contact involving him, but it was off camera. Maybe it was involving you and Josef. We'll have to see. The drivers do get one fast repair, which is why you can see some of the drivers back on the circuit that you might have thought otherwise they definitely wouldn't have been able to carry on. But Gila Heskia currently running down at 22nd, and he will have to go for a stop and go penalty. This is Leon Portman then in the number 23 Porsche, and just behind him Reem Gross in that number 50, and Reem Gross gets ahead. I think that was a let by there. I don't think Portman wanted to battle too much. He knows that Reem Gross is one of the drivers fighting for the lead. Reem Gross might have pitted actually, and he started right at the back. That could have been the strategy. Try to get out of all of the carnage at the start of the race by making an early pit stop, and then seeing where he can go throughout the race. Let's quickly have a look. He has made a pit stop, and it took him around about 8 seconds of fuel and 20 seconds overall in the pit lane. And that seems to be a strategy. So it's going to be interesting. He's currently down 17th, but once the leaders make their pit stops, that would be a very, very interesting battle between himself and some of the leaders if he can catch up some time. And I'd just like to say thank you very much to Dorian Tabashnik, who is watching this on YouTube. And he's saying, hit the like button, guys, go on. One of our previous drivers in the series. Hopefully we can have him back sometime. It would be great to have a chat with him once again. But we've got my co-commentator, I believe. We've got Adam Barth in the commentary booth. Adam, a delayed welcome. You've just about made it for the halfway point of the race. Have you seen much of what's been going on in the first few laps?
I've been catching bits. I did see the massive crash with Yehuda Ben Yosef a little early on, just going through the second corner after the Senna S. That was a big one. But yeah, good to be here for the second half of the race. I genuinely think that the PC has died. It was making a horrific noise just before you brought me in. But yeah, I can see the pictures in relatively close time to what you're seeing, and I think we're currently looking at Amir Meshlam going into the Senna S. So hopefully that's not too far away, and hoping to see a little bit of the action here as Sade and Yossi and Alon Day are very close. Day up the inside and through.
Absolutely, he is just coming out of turn 3 now onto the back straight towards turn 4. So our decal a little bit wide coming out of turn 3 in the background. And just in the YouTube chat, Dorian Tabashnik saying he's coming back next season and he'll catch you.
Alon Day, is he doing one of his trademark start at the backs and fight for the field?
He absolutely is. He started, I believe, in 23rd. I want to say 23rd. It could have actually been 25th. It was 25th. I've just remembered. It was 25th. He started down in 25th and he's now back up to 8th position. So he's done, once again, a very impressive job there.
Next thing is whether he can catch Yossi Gabai. 3.4 seconds up the road. While the lap time's like, has he got the pace to potentially hunt him down in the second half of the race? Because we have seen him be lightning quick at some of the tracks we've been to in the past.
Absolutely. Yossi Gabai has also been pretty quick as well. Let's see as they come to cross the line then. Yossi Gabai crosses the line and he is going to set a 1 minute 37.5. Alon Day crosses the line. 1:36.4. That's a 1.1 second deficit between Alon Day and Yossi Gabai. So Alon Day has caught up 1.1 seconds on that last lap. If he continues doing that, he'll be on the back of him within a couple of laps from now. Remember, all of these drivers still have to make their mandatory pit stop. So that is going to be very interesting to see how the pit strategy plays into things. With just over 8 laps to go, the lead is currently making their way through the middle sector at the moment. But the highest placed driver to have already taken his pit stop is Dekel Na. He is in 14th. There he is. And the gap between himself and Michael Schurling, the leader, 37 seconds. And we believe that the pit lane time is about 20-25 seconds, anywhere in that region, depending on how much fuel you take. So I don't think he's going to be in contention to take the lead of this race, but he could jump quite a few positions when all of the other drivers decide to eventually go and take theirs. But it is Michael Schurling who leads. He's got quite a considerable gap now to Shalva. It's about 3.5 seconds as he makes his way through the first couple of corners now, and he is extending that lead. He extended it by 0.3 on the last lap.
Great to see Michael Schurling doing so well. We spoke to him last time out, and he put on a really good show at Sebring. He was very unlucky not to have done a bit better there. There's a few things that didn't go his way, but here he is now. And obviously, with Decarnar, as you were saying, having made his pit stop, we'll have to see what it looks like when things shape out. But so far, a really, really good showing from Michael Schurling, and has got a healthy 3.6 second cushion to Shalva in second place. So things are going very well so far for the 200 car as he goes up through the middle sector.
Absolutely. Adam, do you remember back to, I believe it was the final round, the penultimate round of the season of GT4s for Season 2 of the iRacing Israel League? When we went to Interlagos, did Michael Schurling win that race?
Oh, you're testing my memory there. I think he did very well, I just can't remember if he won it. That's the main thing. If we can speak to him after the race, we'll be able to put the question to him there.
We'll see if he can remember. I believe it was Shalva and Alon Day that were battling for the first couple of laps before eventually taking each other out.
Yeah, that was a popular trend, wasn't it?
Well, it happened quite a few times, didn't it? It even happened at the beginning of this season when Alon was still fighting for the championship.
Yeah, there was a bit of contact at Donington, wasn't there? I think was that at the start of this season. It was either that or in the GT4s. There was some at Mid Ohio as well. But they're quite separated from one another at the moment. Of course, Alon Day racing in the Euro Wheel and NASCAR Series, won the title there, and since then he's been coming back over the last few race meetings, starting at the back and charging through the field. And here is Saad Deckel. We were just watching him and Aaron Sade having a little bit of a battle here, and a few more cars coming into the pits as well.
Yes, we do have quite a few more drivers. Just goodbye, Ivan Scherreiser as well. Quite a few drivers into the pit lane. And I believe we might have got the issues with the timing tower sorted as well, so we can now display a little bit more information for everyone viewing on either Facebook or one of the multiple YouTube channels. And we are broadcasting this to Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Israel League YouTube channels, where you can find this every other Monday evening. And the drivers making their way through the middle sector now. Warren Sade in 7th with Saad Deckel just behind. Saad Deckel having a bit of a moment into turn 1 near the beginning of this race. Put him further back down than he needed to, but he's caught back up now to Oren Sade.
Oren Sade with that, Saad Deckel with that Alpha Tauri liveried car as the two leaders into the pit. Shalva, Michael Schurling in from the lead, and Ruben Chashashvili all coming in at the end of this lap. And Saad Deckel, who was just trying to get by Oren Sade, might still be able to do that, but the top 4 all coming in to make their mandatory stops now. Amir Meshalem hits the front. He's one of the few cars that's yet to make that stop.
He definitely is, and Farron leaves the pit lane as well. Alon Day leaving the pit lane too. Loads of drivers heading down to the pit. I believe Shalva's actually caught up quite a couple of seconds to Michael Schurling in the pit stop phase. Let's hope he doesn't run out of fuel. Seen that in a couple of broadcasts recently, where I was running out of fuel, trying to get the least amount of time in the pit lane as possible. Hopefully it doesn't happen to anyone in this race, but it is Amir Meshalem leading the race, but he will then hand that lead of the race back over to Michael Schurling in a couple of laps when he takes his mandatory pit stop. Rom iTech now with Orange Sade. Oh, trying to look around the outside. The door was firmly shut in Rom iTech's face there. He's trying to go around the outside into turn 5. Door once again is shut. Now up through the uphill right-hander, tricky corner to get right, and now into this hairpin. Take as much curve on the inside as you dare before plunging downhill, and then we're going to head right back up again in towards a sequence of corners that feels almost identical. Another right-hand hairpin with a braking zone that is curved, and now into one of the trickier corners. It doesn't seem very tricky, but in these cars it's very easy to lose the rear end coming through that long left-hander, and now in towards the final braking zone of the circuit. Up the hill they go, and they are going to be starting lap 16 when they cross the line. Almost are they just inside that top 10 as they come to cross the line.
Coming Mechelem into the pits, does his pit stop and comes out in what looks like 4th place, so he didn't really lose too much time at all on that trip through the pit lane. So a decent stop for him gets him back out in the top 5, and Orange Sade and iTac having a very good scrap through that middle sector. You're right, the hairpin followed by Bico to Pato, both very similar, slowest parts of the circuit and very difficult to get right and very easy to get wrong in these cars. We see so often when we put the power down just how easy these cars are to loop around, and we've seen that quite a few times this season as iTac trying to line up Sade going into Interlagos, but it looks like that little look up the inside wasn't able to result in anything, as it looks like we've got most cars now, almost everybody, completed their pit window with 3.5 laps to go.
Absolutely, the fuel window lasted pretty much until here. Drivers had 35 litres of fuel when really you needed about 48 to make it to the end. So this seems about right. 16 laps gone. So pretty much everyone has taken to the pit lane. The only driver that I can see that hasn't is Aiden Scher and also Alon Zeltzer are yet to make their way into the pit lane. Ron Cohen and Leon Portman in that group as well, but they are too far back for it to really make much of a difference in terms of the top 10 at least.
Good run through Curva de Sol here from John Chico. Emma Mechelem desperately trying to hold on to that 4th place, of course pitting the latest of anybody. A few laps led for lap led for the Star Trek liveried car. Just trying to make sure that he stays within the top 4 positions here, but John Chico is flying, and is he going to be able to get the place done? He's alongside and he is through. So with just a couple of laps to go, John Chico, the free car, is up into P4. Will he be able to hold on to it though for the closing stages? Because he's not going to be able to trouble Reuven Chachashvili in front of him. There's a 6-second gap to the car that's on the final step on the podium. But Amir Mechelem, having just lost that place, has he got anything in response? And the early answer to that is potentially not. The gap is up to almost a second already.
Absolutely, they're just heading through the final corner now. And John Chico well up into 4th. Mechelem might even be out of the drafting range at this point. He is now heading through the final left-hand kink and on to start lap 18 of 23 laps to go then. And it is Sherling who leads ahead of championship leader Shalva Vitelshvili. And then Reuven Chachashvili in 3rd, John Chico in 4th, and Emma Mechelem rounding out the top 5. Hagai Farran is in 6th, with Dekel Nar just behind. And then is this man, Alon Day, who's got Yossi Gabai for company. He's just got past the driver of the bright green machine. And he is now up into 8th. And I don't believe he's going to have enough time to catch up to Dekel Nar and make an overtake. Dekel Nar's proven to be pretty quick round here at Interlagos. Up the hill towards turn 5 they go, with just over 2 laps to go then for these drivers. it looks increasingly difficult for him to be able to make any sort of move further up the field, but he has made up a lot of positions, 17 at the moment. Alonde has done a fantastic job starting at the back.
What a race it's been from Alonde yet again to get up to 8th place after starting at the back. Rom Itak there still trying to withstand the pressure from Oren Sade. This has been a battle that's been going on all race, and been brilliant to see, even if it is for a spot just inside the top 10. And it looks like it's going to go all the way to the end, Dane, with a couple of laps to go as well.
Yeah, it definitely does. Oren Sade trying to find that draft heading down the back straight, the main straight I should say. It's a bit curved, but those corners really aren't corners in this car at least. Itak trying to weave to try and get rid of any possible draft that Oren Sade might have. He's looking around the outside, thinks the better of it. He has now got a bit of a better line through turn number 2 and onto turn 3 they go onto the main straight now. They've got the lapped car of Gil Epstein ahead. He is in 22nd, but he is only a second up the road into turn 4. Now they go a little bit later on the brakes is Oren Sade, and he hasn't gone deep. It seems to have worked for him with just over a lap to go for these drivers. Let's see what they can do. Also close to the battle just behind. Gil Epstein gets way out of the way on the inside there. Very, very different lines being taken by these two drivers of Sade and Itak now. Just fighting for the final position inside of that top 10. Oh, so close, but it's so difficult to make a move in these cars at Interlagos. The white flag is up on timing tower. That means Michael Schurling has just passed the start-finish to start lap 20 of 20. Oren Sade looking left, looking right, but unable to make a move at the moment, and he has dropped back just a little bit through that middle sector, up the hill towards the final sector. They go towards the finish line. What is going on at the back of your field? That is Thomas Ventura just ahead of Weinraub and Cohen. That is a lot of cars trying to go through that section of track at the same time. Oh dear. And Ron Cohen has ended up on the grass.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. It looked like he just hit the crown in the road, and by the way he positioned the car going through that corner, and then it meant that he had to go for a bit of a half spin. But looks like he didn't hit anything, and he's able to carry on there.
Absolutely. But for now, 32 minutes out of 35 gone, but that doesn't matter because we're going to reach the end of the 20 laps before then. Michael Schurling coming through. He only has one braking zone to go, and it looks like he's just got through in one piece. Doesn't run wide on the exit. Up the hill now he has to go. 4 seconds or 3.5 seconds is the lead between himself and Shalva Kvitelshvili. Michael Schurling around the final corner he goes, and it will be Michael Schurling who takes the win, weaving across the line to win round 11 of season 3 of the iRacing Israel League. And he looks like he is very happy with that. Oh, he's on the grass in turn 2, trying to do some weaving. Shalva finishes in second, Ruben Chachashvili in third, and Michael Schurling is doing some donuts on the exit of turn 3 with the other two drivers on the podium surrounding him. But it was a good race from Schurling, good move to get up into the lead of the race, and then he was off and away. Shalva had no real contest really, he just kept dropping back, which is unusual. We normally see Schurling keeping, oh sorry, we normally see Shalva keeping at the top of the field, but he couldn't do it this week, and for one of the very few times this season we have a winner that is not Shalva.
Yeah, Shalva last time out, it was a battle right to the very end, wasn't it, at Sebring? But here, Shalva just couldn't trouble Michael Schurling, and it was a really healthy advantage for him in the end, as the last few cars on the lead lap start to come across the line now.
Yeah, this is Leon Portman now that we're seeing crossing the line, and then Ron Cohen just behind. Just 2 drivers left to finish the race. That is Heskia and Pinchevsky. There is Moshi Pinchevsky in the Liverpool livery in the number 27 car. He crosses the line, and we are done for round number 11. There's Michael Sherling still sitting there at turn 3. That is a very, very happy man inside of that car. And with everyone across the line, it is time to bring to you the official race results. Michael Sherling, of course, taking the win by 3.8 seconds ahead of Shalvak Vitellishvili. Then we've got Ruben Chachashvili, John Chico, Amin Meshalam, Hagai Ferran, Dekol Nar, Alon Day up 17 from where he started. Yossi Gabai and Rom Itak rounding out the top 10. Oren Sade finished in 11th. Reem Gross, after his pit lane start due to a penalty, finishes up in 12th. Sardekel and Reedy Sir in 13th and 14th. Then Aiden Scher, Alon Zeltzer, Elad Weinraub, and Leon Portman in 18th. Only a few drivers outside of the top 18 finishing on the lead lap. And that is Ron Cohen, Gilad Hetziger, and Moshin Pinchevsky in 19th, 20th, and 21st. Then Gil Epstein, Judah Ben Yosef, Nick Mazwai, Ido Isaac, Toma Ventura, Dor Malka 4 laps down, Matty Picard 18 laps down, and Yaroslav Malkov not finishing the race, down in 29th and last, 19 laps down. So he finished his day very early, did Yaroslav Malkov, and we have got a few drivers waiting for an interview. And the first one on the list is Mr. Michael Sherling. So let's get him in here for a chat then. Obviously doing a fantastic job to win yet another race this season. Michael Sherling, welcome to the interview room. Congrats on the win. Talk us through that race.
Hey guys, thanks for the congrats. It's the first win in this season actually. Yeah, yeah. The race actually went pretty smooth. I started second. First few laps I was behind Shalva. I was just concentrating on being behind him for the next few laps and hoping for him to do a mistake before I will try to have a battle with him. But he did some small mistake, and then fortunately I was able to open a gap. I was trying to drive as stable as possible, but also fast without burning the tires. And I tried to open the gap before the pit stop because I knew I would have a slower pit stop because I practiced it and I brake very early for the pit stop not to get the penalty. So it was good enough gap, but Shalva cut a lot of the gap during the pit stops. It concerned me a lot, but I don't know. There was only 5 laps left and I was able to hold it. Yeah, very happy.
Absolutely. Correct me, did you win the last time we came to Interlagos? It was a very long time ago, but I think you might have won that race in the GT4s.
It was not actually Interlagos, but I was very fast in Interlagos, even last time. So I don't know, I really like this track, but actually all the guys were super fast in this track. I don't know, I guess it's a track a lot of people like.
Popular track amongst the drivers, it seems. Well, we've just got one round left of the season then, before we pack up and move on to season 4. And it's going to be a very interesting battle. I think you might be well up there at the top as well. I'm not entirely sure which circuit it is that we're going to have the finale at. Do you know, man?
This is Mount Panorama, the scariest track.
Again? We get to finish at Mount Panorama again. We finished there in the GT4. That was interesting. And yeah, that's going to be great. I can't wait. That's going to be in 2 weeks' time. But until then, Michael, thank you so much for joining us for an interview. Congrats on the win. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, as always, to you guys and to Amir for everything you're doing. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Michael, and good luck for Mount Panorama then.
Thanks.
Well, it was good to hear from him there, and we do not have Shalva, unfortunately. So, Adam, you've got your choice of driver. Who do you want to bring in next?
Let's get in the man who finished in third place, which was Ruben Chachashvili. Let's get him in for a quick word. I'm assuming this is who Cha is on the Discord. And Ruben, is that you?
Yeah, it's me. How are you?
Oh yeah, we are. We are very good. Welcome to the commentary box, and well done on a podium finish at Interlagos today.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, tell us about the race. What was it like?
The race began very hard with Hagai, which had a pretty good fight with me. We've been very careful. We respected each one's line, and unfortunately, in the beginning of the second lap, he just kind of probably didn't manage to brake to the first corner, and seems like he dropped in few positions. Though the rest of the race was pretty intense in terms of trying to keep the pace. Shalva and Sherling, which were flying on the front grid, were pretty hard to keep the pace with them. Shalva did an amazing job, as well as Sherling, and I really tried to sneak behind, but it was pretty hard to me, as I had almost spin in the 6th or 7th lap, and my rear tires were pretty hot. Though I think that I managed pretty well to keep the pace. I was pretty consistent, and I'm pretty glad with the result.
In terms of the pit stop window, you all came in at a pretty similar time. Was there much flexibility you had in terms of using the fuel, or was it always down to those 1 or 2 laps towards the end of the race?
I think that we've been pretty much aligned with how much fuel we need to add. So there wasn't too much gap in the exit of the pit stop entry. I think that maybe Sherling added extra fuel than what's required. I added about 14 liters and finished with 2 extra liters. So I guess that it's about a matter of a second to hit, slower. Though it was so much forward with this crazy pace that he found. I have no idea how he found this pace. Like, it's amazing. I must give a big shout out to Sherling with this race. It was totally his. So yeah, it was so much forward that it didn't matter so much. Me and Shalva, I think that we exited the pit stop pretty much in the same time. So it was pretty hard to keep up with Shalva. As always, he's fast. He's consistent and a great driver.
Well, it was a consistent race from yourself as well. Next week, or in 2 weeks' time, I should say, we head to the season finale at Bathurst at Mount Panorama. It's going to be a very tough task for you. What can we expect when the series heads there in a couple of weeks' time?
I think that we should keep our fingers crossed in such a crazy track. It's much trickier track than this one in terms of the elevation changes, in terms of the walls. There is no escape area. It's gonna be pretty interesting, I think, because it's so different track and in the characteristics. And I hope it will be as safe as this race. In the front grid, it felt pretty maybe a little bit boring because we have different paces in the first, second, third, and until to the 5th position. Though I hope it will be the same in the next race, as everybody practices much, and I think that everybody raises the bar from each race to another. And I hope that the next race will be even better.
well done on a brilliant podium today. Before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank?
Actually, I do. I want to thank to everybody that joined the race, to Amir with this great league. I want to thank Hagai and Chalva that always have the education sessions that takes our levels to different levels and makes the times and the pace being a little bit with less margin from the top to the back grid. So, and you guys, as always, it's so much fun that you can watch your race afterwards and have such a great commentary.
Oh, well,
Thank
thank you. Yeah. Well done again, Reuven, and all the best. And we'll hopefully speak to you again in a couple of weeks.
See you. Thank you very much. Good night.
Well, it was good to hear from Reuven there, doing a very good job once again. One of the newer drivers to the series, joined I think fairly early on in this season, and it's been great to have him along. He's been very consistently fighting at the top of this series. One more driver then, joined at the start of this season, and he finished 4th today, and that is Mr. John Chico. We will welcome him into the interview area then. John, can you hear us?
Yeah, sure can. How are you guys?
Well, we're pretty good, and you must be too. You finished in 4th position today. That's not bad going at all.
No, it's not. It's not bad at all. Considering I just wanted to finish this race, considering the roller coaster ride of a league that I've had. So that was actually my goal for this one. Not to fight with anybody, just finish the race, not hit anybody, not get hit, and it turned out good. So, yeah.
It certainly did. And I believe you're pretty much on your own for quite a bit of that race. Like you said, just trying to stay out of trouble. You've had some very good moments in the league so far, and very opposite moments. You've had quite a few crashes as well throughout the season. Like you said, it's been quite a roller coaster ride.
It has. Listen, I'm 43 years old. I've been driving real race cars since I was 14. And just recently, Hagai, which I've known for, I don't know, Hagai Faran, I've known for like 15 years, and he's a dear friend of mine. He got me into this during COVID, during our first lockdown. So it's been a crazy adjustment to feel through my eyes and through my hands what I usually feel in the race car through my behind. So it's been really strange, and I'm just now actually getting the hang of it. I guess old dog new tricks, you know. It was. It's been good. I really finished good in Spa because of some other misfortunes, but I'll take whatever I can get at this point in time. But yeah, it was a really good race. It's a shame that Hagai went off in turn 1 with the fight with Reuven, but it kind of pinched my heart every time I see Hagai off track, since I like the guy so much. But yeah, overall it was a good fight. I think I made a mistake in the pits where I overfueled by 2 liters, and when Amir Meshalam came out of the pits, he was in front of me. So I spent I don't know, a lap or 2 laps just visualizing that overtake, and it happened exactly the way I wanted to. So for 4th. But yeah, it was a good race. I'll have to look at the replay to see everything else that happened. But yeah,
It was definitely a good race. Final round, I guess, in a couple of weeks at Mount Panorama. Have you ever driven that circuit?
I wish I could say I've driven it. I've driven in. I did with the Cadillac series, the CTSV, and a few others. In real life, no, I have not, which is a shame because I have driven a whole lot of circuits in the world. Never been there. Still on the bucket list. But yeah, I guess that's going to be an interesting race, to say the least. I may just start at the back of that one, especially for the first lap. We'll see.
Well, it's definitely going to be an interesting race. We had a lot of fun there last season for the final round, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun here or there in a couple of weeks' time. Well, John, congrats on the pretty decent finish in 4th position. Good luck for 2 weeks' time at Mount Panorama. But before we let you go, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, Hagai Farhan for all his support for this league and being the guy that he is. For Amir Meshalam for organizing this thing and everybody else in the league. We're all just trying to make it through the races, I guess. And that's it. And thank you guys, of course, at Apex for broadcasting this and taking the time, and for the judging now, the live judging, which is great. I got hit by it last time. Well, I deserved it, but I really did for locking up like that. That was stupid. But anyway, thanks a lot for your time, guys, and have a great week.
You too. Thanks for joining us, and we'll hopefully see you in a couple weeks' time.
Sure thing. Have a good one, guys. Thank you.
Well, that was John Chico there, and he finished in 4th position. That wraps up the interviews then. Adam, for the half of the race that you did manage to see, any final thoughts?
Just that I'm never surprised by the action we see at Interlagos. It always provides great battles, even in cars like this, the Porsche, where it often provides racing where we can't really see too much of that. So yeah, loads of good slipstreaming are in the field tonight, and even after the pit stops finished, we still had some decent scraps going on, like that fight for 10th, and even at the back end of the field, the likes of Ronco and all those guys as well. So yeah, the second half of the race that I did manage to see, it continued to show why the iRacing Israel League is going from strength to strength this season. And when we go to Bathurst in 2 weeks' time, I think we're going to be in for a pretty hectic final race of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. Mount Panorama is going to be brilliant. I can't wait for that. Join us in 2 weeks' time for the season finale of Season 3 of the iRacing Israel League in the Porsche Cup cars. That will be live at the same time, 8 p.m. GMT, or I believe 10 p.m. Israeli time, for Monday in 2 weeks' time. That is going to be a fantastic event. I can't wait. I'll be joined once again by Adam Barth and Samuli Kuma in production. Well, I've been Dane Baird, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. But for now, from myself, Adam and Samuli, and everyone else here at Apex Racing TV, I want to wish you a good night and happy racing.